Yo, Assalamu alaikum, Slave in a Cave here, bringing you another video. Today I'm going to be talking about Jared Kushner, a 36-year-old Orthodox Jew, Donald Trump's son-in-law from a billionaire family. This man is very interesting. This man has caught the attention of many Christians who are claiming that they believe that he is the Antichrist. As Muslims, we do not say anything we cannot prove. I'm not going to say that. But what I can confirm to you today is that this man is among the human satans that the Imam Mahdi has warned us about. And you know, really what these people want to do, what these human satans agenda is they want to create a state of Israel, a Jewish state from the North Pole to the South Pole. They want world domination, and it looks like they've chosen Jared Kushner to be their point guard in making this happen. So, you know, why am I speaking about Jared Kushner today? Well, he caught my attention when I figured out that he owns the building 666 5th Avenue in New York, overpaid by millions for the building. You can look into that. What is even more crazy is that the RFID chip that has become famous among Christians as what they believe will be the mark of the beast is actually being developed inside of this building. The main company spearheading that technology is inside of Jared Kushner's building. Now, this man has recently received a lot of power within the White House. I'm not going to say that he's the Antichrist. I'm just going to say that, you know, he is another enemy against the human populations. And you know, I'm just gonna display the evidence and everything I know about him today. So yeah, enjoy the video, and please visit the website of the Imam Mahdi. Check out his statements on these people, so that you can guard yourself, so that you know, and you can turn to Allah, turn to God.
I feel like most people don't even know what Jared Kushner sounds like, even though he's so influential now, because he rarely talks to the press. The only interviews we could find online didn't have anything to do with national policy. It was just Kushner discussing his real estate business.
Just 1 year ago, Jared Kushner was a nobody, at least as far as U.S. politics was concerned.
Forbes magazine trumpeting on their cover the man they credit with Donald Trump's victory, the president-elect's own son-in-law, Jared Kushner.
Covering reaction to Trump's win.
People said they were shocked, stunned. One man told us that this was all messed up.
Trump has said Kushner could even play a key part in the Middle East peace process. While his role has fueled speculation, Kushner has quietly been taking steps to distance himself from his multi-billion-dollar real estate business, Kushner Companies.
Of all the financial titans and philanthropists of the 20th century, none are more complex or mysterious than George Soros. Like Carnegie, J.P. Morgan, and the Rockefellers, he amassed billions through ruthless business decisions.
Recapitalize the banks, and then work on a better world order, where we work together to resolve problems that confront humanity.
When George W. Bush was president, Soros said, "The main obstacle to a stable and just world order is the United States." When asked to explain, he answered, "By declaring a war on terror after September 11, we set the wrong agenda for the world." Think about that.
Well, I have described him as an imposter and con man and a would-be dictator.
By the way, Thiel was a supporter of Trump. Eric Schmidt, the former Google CEO, was not a supporter of Trump, but he recognized Jared Kushner's genius. He said, Jared Kushner is the biggest surprise of the 2016 election. Best I can tell, he actually ran the campaign and did it with essentially no resources.
Analysts say he's taken on more than any one person can handle.
Many of the portfolio positions that Jared Kushner has taken on have been ones that the brightest minds in government have not been able to fix.
That was the most shocking thing in the story, that Eric Schmidt, big backer of Hillary, and also helped her build her tech machine. If he's saying this is a big deal, watch this Kushner guy, I knew I had a story.
"36-year-old Jared Kushner has no diplomatic experience, but he's become an envoy to foreign leaders, at times in place of the Secretary of State."
If you can't produce peace in the Middle East, nobody can.
President Trump declared that his son-in-law Jared Kushner could broker the toughest deal in the world, lasting peace between Israelis and Palestinians.
Presidents just don't hire their family members. But Trump is doing more than that.
Senior advisor Jared Kushner is making his unannounced visit to Iraq with the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
It's unusual Kushner would travel to Iraq before the Secretary of State, a sign of Kushner's growing influence.
It's just particularly important to focus with Kushner on this idea that he is a power center all to himself.
He and wife Ivanka, both practicing Orthodox Jews, are seen as being more moderate than Trump and have reportedly softened the president's policies on gay marriage and child.
But no administration over the course of 4 decades has been able to solve the Arab-Israeli conflict. Barrack says with a new set of leaders in the Arab world wanting a solution, the timing is right.
Kushner played a key role in February's visit from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
Can I reveal, Jared, how long we've known you?
Finessing the strained relationships with Mexico and working with the Canadian government are also Kushner projects, and he's now running a newly created office to integrate business ideas into the government.
Jared Kushner at the helm of a newly unveiled office called the White House Office of American Innovation.
We went to find Jared Kushner to ask him what his plans were. Walking to the office at 666 Fifth Avenue with his parents, he was offering no clues.
Mr. Kushner, you think you're going to get a job in the White House?
Have a good day. Thank you.
You're going to get a job?
The disarming smile gave nothing away.
Jared Kushner is now inside his company headquarters.
Jared is perceived right now as a very, very powerful man in the land.
He's Trump's golden boy.
Yes. And Jared, I mean, you know, I did actually speak to Donald Trump on Friday, and he told me how incredibly brilliant he thinks Jared is. He called him my son, not even son-in-law, my son.
The presidential drama falling on the heels of Bannon losing his seat on the National Security Council. An overhaul approved by the president and endorsed by Kushner.
Bannon sees Kushner and his allies as globalist Democrats, while Kushner regards the Bannon faction as harshly nationalist.
Here is the wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. It is the number of a man, right? The number of a man. For it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. It's interesting that 666 is the building that Jared Kushner bought. I can't see how more obvious this is. Like, I really don't see it.
Trump upset victory divinely sent to begin messianic process, say Israeli rabbis, right? And this one, ancient secret of Daniel's 70 weeks, predicts end of days will come this year in 5777, which started in October last month in the Jewish calendar year and will be done by September of the coming year. So, and by the way, that was Rabbi Mir Horowitz 300 years ago, working on Daniel's time and half a time, and he set a date. He set a date 300 years ago. He said, this will all happen. The Messiah will arrive. The end times will begin in the Jewish calendar year 5777. The rabbis have held that dear to them since then. What is that? That's 2016 to 2017. Messiah will arrive. Now, they're looking at Donald Trump. One of the rabbis illustrated how his name in the gematria, the numerology of his name, actually means Messiah. Now there's some weird stuff here that's going on. So think about this for a moment. In the Jewish Zohar, 700 years ago in medieval Aramaic, Orthodox Jews speculated about when will the Messiah be on the earth, right? And in the Vieira section of the Zohar, they said he will arrive on earth in the year 57, he will make himself known in the year 5773, which was 2012 to 2013. Oddly enough, Trump goes to Israel in 2012, decides not to run for U.S. president, meets with heads of states, comes out of that, you can watch the YouTube on television, and he starts talking to the Jewish people, telling them to vote for Benjamin Netanyahu and the Likud party, which they did, right? But what the Zohar said was, he will be identified From that day and forward, there have been at least a dozen Jewish rabbis that have said the Messiah is on earth now. He's been identified. He is soon going to make himself known. Well, some key things have to happen for the messianic figure in the Jewish mindset. For the Messiah to arrive, you can't think of him like we think of Messiah. We think of Messiah after the model of Jesus. He's the Son of God, divine birth, all of that. That's not the way the Jews look at the Messiah. They're looking for a king. They're looking for a political leader. As a matter of fact, Messiah to them means the anointed one, and it goes back to the ancient days when they would anoint a king and recognize him as this is the man that God sent. And what they're looking for is several things. First of all, they're looking for somebody in a political figure who can lead decisive battles in defense of Israel. This is why the only politician on the face of the earth that was standing up and saying, if I'm elected president, I'm going to be the biggest friend that Israel's ever had. We're going to undo the Iran deal, well, blah, 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 right? And being a friend of Benjamin Netanyahu. Secondly, they're looking for, when the Messiah comes, there will be an ingathering of Jews from around the world back into the Holy Land. That's why the rabbis, on the eve of his election, went on television and said, we need to call now Jews from around the world, come back to Jerusalem because the Messiah is here, right?
Yes.
There's another thing. Thirdly, they talk about when he arrives, he is going to reinstitute the temple service. So what was the second thing they did? They called on Trump and Putin to use their power to rebuild the temple and to reinstitute the temple service. I'm not saying that they think he is the Messiah. What I actually think is that most of the rabbis there think he's John the Baptist and the Messiah is about to appear. He's the forerunner. He's the guy that's going to start the message in the wilderness, and the Messiah is going to come in on his heels. And so we need the temple service. We need to get back into Israel, the Messiah. Now, why are they saying that? They have identified somebody. I mean, there could be a few rabbis there that think he's the Messiah. The other third key is he has to be of the Davidic dynasty. He has to be of the Davidic bloodline, and there is an effort right now to go back through the European monarchy, cousins of President Donald Trump, to show that his bloodline goes back to the Davidic dynasty. Now, why are these efforts underway? I'm just saying there's something very strange here that's going on, and everything I'm saying can be verified. Multiple news agencies, the Jerusalem Post, Breaking Israel News, they're all talking about this right now. So they too believe that we are in the end times. They too believe that the Messiah is about to appear. We would say the second coming is about to happen, but their Messiah is going to be a false Messiah. He's going to be the Antichrist, right? I also don't believe Donald Trump is the Antichrist. So I think that the smart ones in Israel are looking at him right now. They're saying he is God's, what we would call John the Baptist. He is God's messenger. When he takes over in January, there is a 5777 countdown to the appearance of the Messiah, and something could happen overnight that could lead to the reconstruction of the temple.
Kushner, Jared Kushner, to lead a SWAT team, they say, to fix government with business ideas. And here we have an image of Jared looking kind of solemn. Jared is about my age. I think he's about 35, 36 years old. And he is arguably more powerful than Trump himself. Now, of course, there are loose affiliations and funding from George Soros and some of his real estate investments. You can look that up for yourself. Maybe we can even pull up an article or two. If you search Kushner, George Soros, you'll see that George Soros has even backed and funded a lot of these projects. Many of you probably also know Jared Kushner's father went to jail, spent some time in jail, I think like 16 months or something like that, due to tax evasion. I think he had interfered and put pressure on some witnesses in a trial that he was facing. I mean, a lot of kind of dirty dealings and shenanigans, and of course, the coinky-dinky, of course, because none of this could ever be linked, right? It's just coinky-dinky. He also lives in a multi-billion-dollar building at 666, what is it? It's not Park Avenue, it's Fifth Avenue, I think. Yeah, 666 Fifth Avenue. Even Bannon's even kind of taking a back seat here. I don't know if there's a war internally going on with Bannon and Trump. I know they've been yelling at each other a lot. But notice how he really is lifting up Kushner, right? Jared, I mean, this is a young guy, right? I mean, he's Not that you're not capable as a young man like myself, but young guys. This guy's like 35, 36 years old. I mean, he's arguably maybe even more powerful than Donald Trump. It really is quite incredible. I mean, Kushner's business connections, his Jewish connections, very, very powerful people this kid knows, very powerful people that this person is affiliated with. I mean, there's even shady dealings going on with George Soros in the background right now. And a lot of the cronies, of course, that Donald Trump has a part of his administration from criminal Goldman Sachs.